What is it like?
So I very much believe that when we're younger, we know exactly who we are, and then the world just continues to tell us not to be, especially if you're queer. And so for me, when I was a little girl, I was wild, like in the forest wild kind of person. And I felt a real, like I could just be myself in those spaces in nature. Probably not doing things that little girls were supposed to do. The joke in my family is that they all like referred to me as Tim, not Kim. I loved going to the hardware store with my father when people would mistake me for being a boy. And then I hit puberty and I turned into like the most femme representation you could ever see, right? I was born into like this really curvy body with this heart-shaped face and long, really thick, flowing hair. Like, you know, when you think of that stereotypical femme representation, it's just, but I think on the inside, I didn't actually feel that.
Right. Okay.
And so what what I love about looking back on that child is you are actually going to get to embody all the different aspects of the way you physically show up in the world, which does feel right to me. But on the inside, I can be whatever the fuck I want. It's beautiful, right? That I can look back at who I was as this child with like the short haircut. I wanted to be Marty McFly. You know who that is, right?
I do.
I'm just checking because I thought he was the coolest, you know, with the skateboards and the beautiful, you know, girlfriend that he had. And I was just so, and so I think part of like what appeals to me about the word queer is that one, it was in my generation, it was something you would never say. And now the power that world and that word holds for me is like, that's it. I'm in a femme body. On the inside, I feel like a mix of all sorts of different parts of me. And then I'm married to someone who is really masc in their representation, but quite honestly, their aura on the inside is way more femme than me. Like we joke in our marriage, like people would physically look at us and they'd be like, oh, Alex is the big spoon and Kim's the little spoon. And I'm like, no, I'm the big spoon. I don't know what that even has to do with gender, but I love how it just doesn't play, it doesn't actually play a factor in our lives at all. So like to go back to my little self, I would be like, oh, just wait. You are going to get to be all the things that you're holding in this one body. So like I will show up super femme, but on the inside I don't know that I identify with anything that's super femme. If that makes sense.
Or how like the societal stances on femme, you know.
Oh, I don't fit the societal stance on femme in any way. But saying like because I was born into the body that I was born into, I should literally be barefoot in a kitchen right now making a man something to eat. And I'm like,
arsenic is a good meal.
I'll make you a meal. So it's
you get
backwards to me.
Yeah. And now you get to be all the things or none of the things, or like if you want to name it a thing, I'm just exploring what it is to exist.
And I don't know that I gave myself freedom to be that till I was older. Right? I was so concerned with what other people were going to think, where I was going to fit in, was I going to be in danger? And quite honestly, like growing up in the body that I did when I started work, I mean, I had a male boss one time throw something at me and tell me that I just needed to do what he wanted me to do. And I was like, no. He got sent to anger management, but still got a huge bonus at the end of the year. So, you know, I love that I don't have to be in that in that space. But yesterday or 2 days ago, I introduced myself as someone as the CEO of the center in Colfax, and I could tell they couldn't comprehend it.
Yeah.
Because I was with a white cis gay man, and he was like, "Oh, you're the CEO," and I was like, "Yeah, I am," and just let him sit in his own discomfort for a minute.
Would you take any version of your younger self's hand and walk into the Center for Resources now that you are there kind of working through these things?
Yes, because I have the knowledge of what I think is there right now and what's becoming there. if I didn't know that, I don't know that I would see myself there yet. I think that's what we're building towards.
I love this. Thank you.
And that's just honest.
Yeah.
That's just honest. And that's okay. What would not be okay is me pretending and saying, absolutely, younger self, come here, you're going to get all the things that you need. I think Rainbow Alley in particular, with the folks that are leading it, I feel very safe with them. That they live in a way that they understand it, it's their truth. And so it's easier then for people coming in to see it. Where I think we're still struggling a little bit is like once you get out of Rainbow Alley and before you get to west of 50.
Is where you find yourself.
Yeah, and it's good and bad, right? I wish we had more there right now, but then I also understand like that's where the growth and the healing is. There's a generation of us that I think didn't have a Rainbow Alley, needed a Rainbow Alley, and now we're really becoming ourselves, and I think the center has to become that with them.
There's just an earnestness about you, friend, that I feel like many parts of folks feel safe with your honesty.
I think that's where trust starts, right? Trust comes from just being real and being honest. And I know the word authentic gets used, but it's truth, right? If I was to say to you, come right now, come as you are right now at this age, you're going to get everything you need. I don't know that that's 100% truthful yet. But I think the way to get there is to acknowledge what we have and what we don't have. And so I'm excited about building that though.
Yeah.
But you have to build from where you really are. I'm not doing a service to myself or to anyone by pretending to be something we're not yet.
I love that.
And I need folks that are in that same space of life, exploring, acknowledging. I'm a Gen Xer, so I know that the representation I had growing up, being queer, well, first of all, saying that I was a lesbian was 100% like I was still there for the male gaze. A lot of my becoming, because being a lesbian was so seen through the male gaze, I was still, when I was becoming a lesbian and coming into who I was, I still had the image in my head of what a man thought a lesbian should be, and that he should still be present for that and benefiting off of my own sexual exploration, which could almost turn into exploitation. So I think there's a whole generation of us that have experienced that. And what I think younger generations have done, and why I think I'm so drawn to folks that are younger than me in the community, is that they did grow up with more representation than I did. And the freedom I see in them and in their ability to move through this world, it is so inspiring to me. That's the healing.
Yeah.
Right? That my sexuality was discovered through exploitation, not anything other than like I was still there for the patriarchal benefit.
Yeah.
Which is gross and wrong.
The realm that you are coming from and you're existing in as a young person, but also within, in Denver, I think Colorado, we get this like misconception that we're so like progressive.
We have a lot of queer representation here in Colorado, but then we also have the reverse of that. We have pockets, we have bubbles. Like in the centralized urban areas, there are so many queer people. And outside of those areas, there are also queer people. They're just a little more quiet. And I was talking with someone from New York, and they came here, and they were saying that they packed boots and jeans just in case. And I was like, you don't need to do that here. I don't think I've ever experienced fearing my identity here in Colorado, unless I go like closer to Kansas or up north or in different areas. I mean, obviously there are pockets everywhere where you're still like, okay, maybe I should cater to this thing. You shouldn't have to. But there's this underlying concern for safety. But it was this, when they said it, I was like, Colorado is so gay. We're so queer. We have all of these things and resources, and and we're constantly changing, and we're stepping into this new light. I was just talking with you about this, that I'm excited for where Colorado is going, because like New York, Chicago, LA, they get really, you know, they're the big names, they're the brand names of like art and creativity and all of these things, and oftentimes people forget that, you know, Colorado is a big hub for creativity, and while it's everywhere, I like to think that we definitely do champion it a lot more. We're more loud about it too, which is good. But I mean, looking around this room, there's so much art. When you said authentic is thrown around, it is, but I also think that my generation is like with queer, we're taking that word back.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
And I think that Gen Z and Gen X have like accidentally or on purpose bridged together.
Yeah.
And a lot of us communicate in very similar ways. It's just like different language is used, but we're saying the same thing. And I mean, gosh, I was talking with my mom about this, and she's a Gen Xer, and she was saying that like the fact that I'm like, I need a mental health day. I need something. I need, you know, time for myself to know that I'm taking care of myself, to know that I'm being healthy, to know what I'm putting in my body and all of this stuff. And she's like, when I was your age, I didn't know that. She's like, I didn't even wear sunscreen when I was your age. And I'm like, I put sunscreen on every day. Like, I make sure that like I'm taking care of myself. And she's just now like rediscovering that.
I love your mom too, by the way. She's amazing. She's an amazing human being. But I totally get what she's saying, that my life was taught to me within a white supremacist lens, that if I wasn't productive, was I worthy? Your generation has changed the thinking of I'm worthy just because I am.
Yeah.
And part of being is care for myself because I just am inherently worthy. I wasn't taught that. I was taught basically like, you know, if you're not productive and you're not producing, even if you picked a hobby, well, was that hobby going to lead to something? And
is it going to be productive?
Listen, in some ways you can look at it and be like, well, now I'm the CEO of this amazing organization. And so there was a little bit of that thinking that drove me to have a really amazing career and access to the things that I got through that career. There is a beneficial side to it, but at what cost?
Well, I mean, I think that's, my mom used to tell me when I was young, and I say young, but I'm literally 20 years old. And when you ask that question about like if you could talk to your younger self, I'm like, I'm still exploring myself.
Exactly.
So
Absolutely.
I'm like, younger self is like 5 years
Exactly.
ago. I'm very different to that now, and I'm discovering myself in many ways. Younger me also didn't have a beard, but and that's something too, is I'm like the opposite of you, my upbringing, when you said that you were like super masculine and all of these things. I lived in the woods with a wood burning stove, but I was like a princess. I wore princess dresses. I had fashion shows and tea parties with my older sister, and I dressed up constantly, and I've had long hair since I came out of my mom's womb. Like all of these things, I've just loved being feminine but also masculine. And I'd be in the grocery store dressed as a princess, and people would be like, oh, what a gorgeous daughter you have. And I used to, when I was younger, get my lowest voice would be like, I'm a boy, because I thought I was supposed to be like, no, I'm a boy. And my mom, she said, I was 5 years old, and I remember, and she was just like, these people aren't saying anything negative, they're complimenting that you look gorgeous. Say thank you. And it changed my thought, and for her to say that, and not be like, no, you need to tell people that you're a boy, maybe wear this pirate outfit instead. She was just like, say thank you. They're being kind, and they're expressing, they're acknowledging you. But she would tell me that I didn't wake up to be mediocre.
I love that.
And for her, I think she learned it, like with you said, that production thing, that you have to kind of rise and grind. The rise and grind, it's like the guy who wakes up at 4 o'clock in the morning with the mouth tape, and he takes sparkling water and all of this stuff, and he works out, and But my generation, or especially me, when I hear I didn't wake up to be mediocre, it's not that I woke up to be better than everybody else. It's that I woke up to be the best version that I want to be. And that's anything. I can wake up that day and you know, do this and have a great conversation, or I can change something and make strides, or I can wake up and make sure that I went outside that day, and that was the best version of what I did that day.
I grew up with it's okay to be ordinary, not you didn't wake up to be mediocre. I hope I am the mother to my kids that says you didn't wake up to be mediocre, you woke up to experience and explore everything this world has to offer. Very much like a heaven is on earth perspective versus feel guilty, repent, because something is waiting for you if you are. Because I grew up Catholic, and so I mean that's a whole other part of my childhood. I did want to be a nun, but that to me is like probably my earliest signs of like figuring out that I was queer. You deserve to see yourself that way and to be that, because that's who you are. You are extraordinary.
And I feel that at the center, when I came in as an intern, I was in a time of transition, but I had a really good team, and I mean, the queer community's just been my family. Gosh, I've been in the Denver queer scene since I was 13. So any event I do, I'm like, oh my gosh, I know you, I've seen you, and you've seen me grow up. I mean, you gave me my first opportunity of a interview. That was.
How old were you when we did that?
Gosh, I was like.
I think you were like 15 or 16 years old. I was
15 going on 16. Terrible at makeup, the chunkiest glued eyebrows ever, but I was so happy. And going into PBS and being able to like feed myself authentically, that was crazy for me.
It was really cool what we got to do.
And so now doing an event that is Afterglow.
There are some fashion shows that have tried to show a focus on the model, but then oftentimes the artistry of the clothing is forgotten. Because you're looking at the model.
Or they're still put into a binary.
And they're like, okay, these are all femme models, these are all mask models, these are all things. But like, especially with the group of models and designers that we have, I mean, it's so diverse in what they're making and who they're making it for. I mean, we have Danny, who's making this streetwear, and it's gender full, not genderless. I hate when people say clothes have no gender. I'm like, you're wrong. Like they have all of the gender.
You should hold these. Thank you for that.
I did see that again for us,
yeah, please.
I think we do say gender has no clothing, but the way you just said that, clothing has
all gender, because gender is not part of clothing. It's what makes clothing. And whenever someone says like clothing has no gender, I imagine like Divergent when they're all wearing like the gray sacks. I'm like, that's clothing with no gender. It's void of what makes gender.
It's void of expression.
And it's void of expression. And when it comes like with like I, as a gender fluid person who, yes, has a beard, who is, 6'4" with broad shoulders, and came into the world wanting to be feminine and then hit puberty and became masculine. So the opposite of what happened to you is when I was like 4 feet tall for the longest time, and then 13 happened and I skyrocketed. And I was like, what am I? I have stretch marks behind my knees. I'm so tall now. I'm this like big thing, and I didn't know how to be feminine for the longest time. And I would find feminine people often and be like, how? Like, I just need to like osmosis it.
I say osmosis all the time.
I love it. And then I was like, well, people are saying clothing has no gender, but I do not look feminine if I'm wearing something that is cut for a masculine body. And I do not look feminine if I'm wearing something that is cut for a feminine body but in a masculine fit on me. So creating that ability, I mean, my wardrobe is extensive. And I've made sure because I've curated pieces that I can be like, oh, I'm going to wear this because it feels feminine to me. It feels masculine to me. And that's why it's like clothing has no gender, because if I just, like the whole you're born naked and the rest is drag, it is that. And especially maybe as a drag performer, is when I started as Ophelia and Jameson were very different people.
What are they now?
And I was doing that thing that traditional drag performers do where they're like, okay, I'm Jameson, and that's like different. And then Ophelia is this like extra personality that is feminine or masculine. And now it's Ophelia is just Jameson, but like a little more sparkly and taller hair. But I mean, I keep the brown hair, and I keep a lot of the aspects that make me, because that's what my drag is. It's a heightened version of myself.
See, these elevated versions, these different, and that's, sorry, I just have to come in here, because as you're talking about this, it's like, if we imagine this runway, this afterglow moment, it's almost as if you're describing the different versions of yourself that wanted to walk but never had the runway to do so. And so to give myself this runway now, which in many ways has like a Benjamin Button feeling to it, because I'm like, I get to go back into my curiosity, go back into my wonder.
Part of the reason it became Afterglow was I don't love traditional galas that nonprofits have to put on.
Yeah.
They're excluding the very
always
people
excluding. What is
that you want to be celebrating in your community. So that's why the ticket prices are lower for this. It's sitting, the traditional one is like you're sitting at the 10-foot round table. You sometimes know the people there, you sometimes don't. You're eating your 3 courses. You're watching really wonderful people in our community get a brilliant award for their brilliance. But I never felt like it's having galas like that, and I know that and I am really grateful that our board let me take this leap, because it is incredibly important that we raise money, and we need to turn to our community to raise money, because we're seeing through the stroke of a pen where we can lose services and we can't depend on those to keep us afloat anymore. It's a risk, right? I'm moving away from a model that was built that has a history of being really popular, but it's exclusionary. It's built within a system of scarcity. It doesn't actually celebrate, I think, what we want to celebrate. And so look, like 3 months from now, they might be like, wow, Kim Salvage was really wrong. Like, she was really wrong. But I don't think I am.
No, and this trend is happening in a lot of spaces. I spoke with someone recently about how they're trying to uncorporatize the way that they work. The models for the traditional gala, everyone does a gala where they're trying to raise money with a paddle raise and a title, and they need to, and we need to. And I think that's the hope with Afterglow, is to still show, like, yeah, we need money. We always need, we're a nonprofit, so we can't just snap our fingers and get it.
I mean, that would be amazing, but we still are existing within a system. And so when you're in those systems, I think you have 3 choices. You can leave it all together and go, I don't know, figure out some other way for people to have the services and support that they need. But you're basically just like, I don't know how to do it, so I'm just out. I'm not going to work towards change. You have the choice of staying with the system and just keeping it going, right? You don't push back. You're like, yeah, no, let's do the standard gala. Let's apply for grants. Let's hope the federal government is going to actually acknowledge us in our humanity. And so you just kind of stay, right? You keep the status quo. You keep the white supremacist status quo. Your third choice, and the one that I hope we're doing, is you work to change it from within. And that's slow, and it's hard. You get a lot of feedback from people that are scared that the system that they've been able to benefit in is changing. They don't see themselves in that change yet, so it's scary, and they push against it. And then you have to be the person that's like, hey, it's okay, come along with me. But it's a gamble, right? It's a risk. It's a risk to say, okay, gala, okay, nonprofit, the way that we fundraise, the way that we expect that people with money are just going to come and save us, and then somehow they expect us to work in the way that they think is best. It's all part of a system that has to change. And that is slow and incremental. And it takes a lot of grace for other people that are invested in making that change with you. Because it will not be a straight line up.
No.
It will take time to do it, and we'll get there.
The knowing. I'm in the knowing.
Yeah.
That I'm capable. And I've been pouring into this many versions of myself that deserve to see this succeed.
Yeah.
Because I'm not saying that I create safe spaces, but I'm saying that I will do my best to become one. Yeah. And then you decide if you feel safe around me. You know?
It's interesting you use the word knowing, because Glennon Doyle wrote about this in Untamed, which I loved this part of her book. Yeah.
That's good.
Like, I loved this part of her book.
Thank you, friend.
You sit.
But I loved that part of her book where she talked about going to this, like, the quietest space that she could find and sink into her knowing.
Yeah.
And for her, and I do feel like a kinship with her in this, I've always known my knowing.
Right.
But I was told not to believe it. And so what happens to you as a person when you're told you can't trust your own voice, right? Like, that is narcissistic abuse right there.
Absolutely.
Right? No, you can't trust that you know this. And some people are still in it. So when I'm saying, like, listen, I get that it's risky. I get that it's going to turn something new. I get that I can't give you a proof of concept that it's going to work. But I know it feels right.
Exactly.
People with money don't want to trust that.
No. This is so amazing how you said this too, because it's like, as a young person that grew up in the religious spaces, we weren't given the opportunity, and we were stripped of our agency to our intuition.
Yeah.
And so when we even second guess ourselves, it's that whole relationship with our intuition that we got severed with. Our intuition is truth. Our intuition is a collective consciousness that will help in growing community, understanding that the only way a community exists is if we support each other.
Right.
And that creates artist economy. Like, how we don't understand that?
I don't know, because it feels so true. And so I will tell you, I am extraordinary, and I'm also incredibly ordinary. Right? And so I mean that in the way of, like, I'm not that different from other folks, except that I'm extraordinary and I won't let go of my knowing.
That part.
And so if I know this, if I know, oh my God, I am so inspired to see people in expression and in beauty, the way that it doesn't have a boundary.
Yeah.
It's just what it is. I know if I'm excited by that and I want to see that, I'm ordinary. There's lots of other people that want to see that too.
Yeah.
And feel that too. So, I don't know. I always explain, like, I'm extraordinary and ordinary.
But this is against, again, the dichotomy of what it is to exist, you know? And so that's a really big, first of all, let me give some honor where it's due. Thank you for holding the camera for a moment. This is so wonderful. This is what I'm talking about. This is how this community showed up. But I just want to say thank you so much for sitting in this chair, for taking time out of your day, for, you know, setting aside energy to bring here today, because I know that it's not easy to just, like, show up and be like, and I literally can't, I am professional, however, I can't tell you where a conversation's going to go. It's so hard for me, because I like just being able to show up and have one. And that's part of, like, how I identify as a non-binary person, is I'm feeling a little bit more post-binary these days. Like, it's so, I'm feeling so far removed from the identifying factors of binaries. But I don't want to be dismissive of another person's journey in that. So in this funny little space of binaryism, I just ask to be addressed with kindness, and we'll learn from there. And so in conversation, so many times, there's things that we could consent to speaking about a day before, and then maybe that day we're not. And so being able to be kind of in that ebb and flow here, and you allowing me to learn more about you. You sat here and said, hey, this is vulnerable for me. This is actually, you know, where I stand as a, you know, in the gender, in the identity of it, or what it could be perceived at. But I'm simply extraordinary.
I am.
You are, friend. And it's giving me so, like, literally just to be in your countenance. It's like the coolest thing to get to be in what is watching you becoming your own ancestor. You're in these really incredible parallels right now. And this isn't a small community move at all. This is a really big fucking deal. This is huge. To get my ears to perk up to it is a big deal.
It means a lot to me. The support that I've gotten, especially from folks that haven't seen themselves where I am at the center and what the center has been, that means everything to me. Yeah. It's everything.
But outside of what you are doing with that, just you as a person, you as an existence, you as a voice, and so many other things than the aesthetic that we battle in the mirror every day, or the fear of being perceived or the fear of not being perceived, your essence and just how you are sitting here. Again, the word earnestness allows me to literally pat myself on the back and say, good job on your fucking healing, because I'm sitting next to someone in that same journey. And I don't feel like I'm having to ask you to meet me here in a conversation. You already exist here. So we're quite literally just parallel hopping between. And you're really encouraging my entire existence today. Outside of being a person taking care of a community space, you as a being.
Thank you. I hope in my age, I am learning how to take that in. Because I spend a lot of time thinking about what others have brought me and honoring that the way that you even show up in this world and the radical self-love you have for yourself, it allows me to explore it myself. Right?
We're spoiled.
I know.
I'm so grateful to do this show with you, friend. Thank you so much.
Gratitude is, I'm overwhelmed in gratitude when people share things like this with me. And I just hope you feel it back.
Oh, I do.
Yeah.
All right, I know.
And Jameson, to you too.
Oh, thank you, sweet soul of divinity.
Thank you. This was my kindness for the day.
I've been saying that nice just is a form of kindness.
Yeah.
We're kind here.
Okay.
We don't behave nicely.
Kind
Everything
is
is
true.
just be more of like, these are really beautiful and reflective like instances. It's like you've met me with kindness, which is your earnestness, which is your intuition.
That's my knowing. That's what everyone deserves in this world. Okay.
We did that.
Thank you.
Oh, we're doing
your artwork.
But
Your artwork is beautiful. Some of the pieces in here really
Just
Yeah.
killing it.
Beautiful.
friend.
Was there a piece that stood out to you?
Yes. Can I show you which one?
Yeah,
Okay.
I love
I know you're gonna keep
Well, I
it
know,
special.
but I point this out to you that this is,
that's the media in me.
Okay.
is that is yours, correct?
Yes, it
Okay,
is.
good. It's stunning.
Oh, thank you.
I love all the female forms in it.
Yeah, that was kind of my, we embody so much as
This
women.
is so